stories. So as you can see here, the stories that I choose is The Lion and the Mouse and the Boy Who Cried Wolf. Also seems like Izul, but it's okay. My interpretation is different from him. So actually, when we are talking about stories, why do actually stories is used in language learning? Of course, that question might come through our minds, right? So actually, do you think why you use stories to deliver knowledge to someone? Do you think because it's easy, or because it's natural, or because it's the authentic ways to deliver something? So actually, for what I think is actually stories will provide natural, authentic language input. So according to Harvard Business Schools, which is Boris 2025, storytelling builds connection between individuals and between people and ideas, sharing the culture, history, and values that bring people together. So what it means here is actually that when you are using stories, it actually can build a connection and also share culture, history, and values, and that will bring the peoples together. So of course, by using stories, there's a lot of benefits. So I have put two here, which is the benefits of using stories: build vocabulary and also grammar naturally. So when you are trying to speak to someone, somehow it's actually building our vocabulary knowledge and also grammar knowledge naturally. And then it will encourage listening, speaking, reading, and also writing skills. And for examples, in the story that I have choose, Please Let Me Go is actually from the stories The Lion and the Mouse. How There's a Wolf is from The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and Thank You Kind Lion are actually a functional language pieces that learners can use in their daily life also. Like for examples, of course, they will not use How There Is a Wolf in their daily life, but they can substitute it to become How There Is a Fire for emergency, or How There's snakes. So it's actually can be reused in their daily life, and this is why the story is used in language learning. And for the next one is actually, we will go into the story, which is The Lion and the Mouse. So I will play a video.
Saving me. I will never underestimate you or
So when we see the video again just now, for a second time, so the story of the lion and the mouse actually revolves around this lion and the mouse, and I think it is a situational context. So I will explain why I think it is a situational context. And from my analysis on this video, I think that it is situational context because the meaning of the story actually depends on the specific events and action that happens. So for example, in here we can see that the lion sparing the mouse and the mouse later helping the lion. So it actually only makes sense in that particular situation. So let's think together. In a reality, in this world, do you think that the lion will spare the mouse? Of course no, right? Because the lion is the predator and the mouse is the prey. So it actually doesn't make sense if you think about it. But if I give you a situational context, I give you a situation and I give you about the context about what happened, do you think it makes sense? Right? Because when you think again, in that situation, it might make sense because the lion is already full and the lion is already full and the mouse is begging for the lion to let him go, and he promised that to help the lion if he ever encountered trouble. So it actually makes sense in this story, but probably not in a reality world. And the correct reaction are shaped by the situation, which actually determines the story outcome. The expression and also emotion on these characters actually determines the story outcome. Why? Because I think for example, the story, the particular situation where the mouse is actually begging the situation where the mouse is begging for the lion to let him go is actually it makes sense, but sometimes when you think about it again, do you think that the lion will let him go? Of course not. So it's actually determines the story outcome. Next, we will move to the story The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So for the story The Boy Who Cried Wolf, you might also have seen this video.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, there lived a shepherd boy.
Oh, I'm so bored. Isn't there anything fun I can do?
The shepherd boy came up with an idea. And he ran into town
absurd.
Hearing his cries, the village people didn't move an inch. But it was at that time that the war of all the sheep.
Oh no! My sheep! My poor sheep!
Okay, so for this story, I think it is interpersonal context because it shows the stories that it focuses on how the boys communicate with the villagers. Meaning that here you can see in the stories that he keep lying to the villagers. So I think it is interpersonal because the boys is interacting with the villagers, and the villagers' trust in the boys change based on his action and his words. Meaning that at first they put all trust on the boys, which is the shepherds. However, when the boy keep lying to the villagers, somehow the trust is becoming less and less. And then I think when we talk about interpersonal context, it's not only just communication between the speakers and also I not only think that it's only just the communication between me and also the speakers. However, it's also involving trust and also appropriate language use and so on. So this story shows that honest and responsible behavior will affect the relationship with others. So let's move on to the next one, which is what is the importance of context to English language use in teaching and also learning? So first one is situational context, which is the story that I use is The Lion and the Mouse. So according to Cambridge Dictionary, situational context is immediate environment, time, place, event, and also participant who is in that situation. So what is actually the importance to English language use? So the first one, it is to help students to use language appropriately. By understanding that meaning changes with context, learners can also choose the right words and expression for different situations. So by understanding this situational context, the learners can understand when they can use these certain words and when they cannot use the words and also expressions. So the second one is to develop communication skills, where the learners can practice describing, narrating, and responding to a real life event, which improve their speaking and also writing. So here, the teachers actually, for example, if the teacher gives a situation to the students, they can practice how to describe it, how to narrate it in a storytelling form, and they can actually relate it to a real life event, and that will eventually improve their speaking and also writing. So still in situational context, so this is the importance of situational context in teaching and learning. So first, we want to build functional vocabulary. For example, in this story, the word trap, rope, and rescue, it is tied to a jungle setting, which happens between the lion and the mouse. However, if the teachers want to use it in another settings, for example, trap, rope, and rescue, they can use in rescuing situation. For example, the victim was trapped in the building, and then the firefighter came with a rope to rescue the victims in the building. So they can actually use it in another settings rather than just use it in the jungles. And the teachers can show how the same word can shift in meaning. For examples, I have put two examples here, which is roar. This is the same word, but when you use it in different situation, it changes meaning. For example, the first roar is in the jungle, meaning that the anger, power, the lion is roaring. So you know that it is related to the lion. It's meaning that it's filled with power. However, the second roar is actually can be used in comedy. For example, we are in a comedy segments, for example. So the audience roar from the comedian's jokes. So they actually this actually shows that the same word can shift in meaning, and it will improve comprehension because students can see the word in clear, vivid context. context rather than just isolated lists like the word on its own only. And for practical classroom values, teachers can design situational role play, for example, in the classroom, in jungles, or animal meetings. And these students can practice language for each situation. For example, to be used in greetings, requests, or warning. And it builds communicative competence when the students will know when and how to use the expressions because they know about the situational context. Okay, for the second one is interpersonal context, which is the bond you at home. So, interpersonal context is actually referring to communication between two or more people, whether face-to-face, online, by phone, or even in writing, where the relationship between speakers shape the language used through factors such as trust, power, status, and emotion. This is why I said that I think that interpersonal context is not just between the communication between two peoples. However, it also has factors such as trust, power, status, and emotions when you are talking to that person. So the importance to English language use is, the first one is to build social communication skills. So the student that learn English is not just grammar. They know that they learn English is not just because of grammar, but also how to interact respectfully and effectively with others. So when they are when they know about this interpersonal context, they will learn that they are just not learning because they want to answer exam or something, but it's also to build their social communication skills. And the second one is to encourage responsible language use. So the learners will understand the importance of politeness, honesty, and the credibility in their speech and writing. So they know that, oh, I'm not supposed to lie because it is bad and so on. So they will be encouraged to be responsible when they are using the language. So in teaching and learning, it is important to use interpersonal context because students see that repetition without trust lose power. So what I mean here is actually, of course, if we keep repeating it, you will remember it that. But if I give a situation like this, this is a class full of students, and I said that a statement that the traffic light has no color. Do you think that my student will believe me that the traffic light have no color? Of course no, right? Even if I keep repeating it for 20 times, they will not believe me because I lied, right? So that's why I said the repetition without trust. When they doesn't trust me, they know that the traffic light has 3 colors: red, green, and yellow. So without their trust on me, they will not get what I'm trying to say. So that's why I said that repetition without trust will lose power, and it will highlight. Interpersonal context will highlight social function of language. For example, warning, requesting help, and apologizing. And this will actually encourage learners to consider how their speech will impact others. And they also will develop pragmatic awareness by, like when they are lying, joking, or exaggerating, people may lose credibility. For example, if I stay in front of here and try to give a talk to you guys about motivation, but I was like keep joking and so on, do you think I have the credibility of being a speaker? Of course no, right? So that's why it is important for you to know about interpersonal context because we want to develop pragmatic awareness between the students. And then practical classroom values, the teachers can use a story to explore honesty and also lies. Like I have a unicorn at home versus I have poors at home. So you know that which one do you think is more which one do you think is honesty and lies? Unicorn is lies and poors is honesty, right? So I will keep it a little bit fast because we're lacking of time. So this is the classroom activities that I have prepared. This is for the stories one, which is the lion and the mouse, which is animal role play. This objective is actually to practice simple dialogues and build confidence in speaking. So you can see here, you can read it after this because we are lacking of time. So the second one is guess the lies, which means that it will have students to recognize which one is the truth, which one is the lies. And it will practice listening and responding quickly in English. So I have prepared a quiz which you guys can scan later. And yeah, I think that's all from